What happened to Pan-American Flight 914? In 1955, the plane vanished en route from New York to Miami. Then, 37 years later, it mysteriously reappeared in Venezuela, with its passengers seemingly untouched by time. This is one of aviation's strangest mysteries. On July 2, 1955, in New York, it was a beautiful sunny day. Pan-American Flight 914 was preparing to fly from New York to Miami, Florida. The plane took off from New York with 57 passengers and 4 crew members. It took them 3 hours to get to their destination. Air traffic controllers in Florida waited for the flight from New York, but it did not arrive on time. The plane did not arrive for hours, and officials at the Miami control tower received no indication of its presence. The plane did not appear on radar in Florida, and there was no contact with the pilot. Its location remained unknown, and authorities were unable to locate the aircraft. Of course, the next logical step was to call the New York control tower. When the air traffic police arrived at the New York control tower, they received an unusual response. Flight 914 took off on time from that point, but they lost radio contact with the pilot. The plane never arrived in Florida, so authorities confirmed the situation. Pan-American Flight 914 took off from New York and went missing. The investigation began, but no significant evidence was discovered. At this point, they became aware of an important detail. Half of the flight from New York to Florida crosses the ocean. When they found no evidence, they confirmed that the plane had crashed into the sea during its journey, killing all passengers and crew members. However, the investigation's conclusion contained significant inconsistencies. Following the plane's disappearance, multiple rescue teams conducted extensive searches on land and sea. They also instructed coast guards to search the seawaters. Despite extensive search efforts, they could not locate any trace of the crashed plane or the plane they thought had crashed. The absence of debris raised questions about the plane's fate. If it did crash, why was there no evidence? Alternatively, if the plane had not crashed, where might it have gone? This mystery marks the start of our story. Welcome back to the incredible stories. The plane's disappearance faded from public attention over time, but the lack of evidence persisted. Years passed, and on September 2, 1992 in Venezuela, it was 37 years since the incident. Venezuela's airport, located in South America, was busy as usual. Juan de la Ore, the air traffic controller, was as busy as he always was. Suddenly, he noticed something unusual. A plane appeared on the radar. No scheduled arrivals at the airport meant he couldn't identify the plane. Despite knowing the day's flight schedules, he double-checked them. That's when he realized it was an emergency landing. When airplanes experience technical difficulties, they make emergency landings at nearby airports. Despite this knowledge, he developed a sense of fear. He saw the plane approaching the airport on radar, then through binoculars. Initially, it appeared to be a normal plane, but its mysterious nature became clearer as it approached. He noticed its distinctive features and realized it was an old plane. Finally, the plane appeared in clear view. The plane's appearance took them aback. The aircraft wasn't old, but its design seemed outdated. They had the appearance of a vehicle from another planet. They couldn't understand what was happening and weren't sure what to do next. Suddenly, the plane's captain connected with the airport radio and asked, "Where are we?" The officials responded and asked for more information about the plane. The pilot told them it was a Pan-American flight from New York to Florida. However, what the pilot said next greatly impacted the officers. The pilot informed them that this plane was scheduled to land on July 2, 1955. The officers were terrified when they heard this revelation. They remained silent, unwilling to respond to the pilot. They instead asked if the plane had crashed or landed elsewhere, but the pilot remained silent, confusing the officials. Shortly after, the plane began descending to land, which exacerbated the situation. The officers confronted the pilot after the plane landed, saying, "I believe you're aware you've landed in September 1992. After hearing this, the pilot became visibly upset. The officers could hear the pilot's voice stuttering from fear. Officials then dispatched security guards to help passengers disembark. However, the pilots acted strangely when the security guards approached the plane. The pilot forbade the passengers from leaving the plane. The officials were baffled by the circumstances. However, the pilot then did something unexpected. He began initiating the plane's takeoff, a highly risky maneuver. Despite receiving numerous radio calls from officials urging him to stop, the pilot stood firm in his decision. That is how the airplane took off. They vanished from the radar in seconds. Despite multiple searches, no results were found. Once again, Pan-American Flight 914 vanished without a trace. Then, they remembered another detail that piqued the officers' interest. The plane and its passengers were visible through the windows as they looked through the binoculars. According to the information provided by the plane's pilot, when they calculated the age of the plane and its passengers, none of them appeared to have aged. What happened to the plane? Why didn't the plane or its occupants appear to have aged? It is a mystery in American history. If you enjoyed this mystery and want to uncover more incredible stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Shadows of History. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more fascinating tales from the past.